This is the Mazz and Bads Show with Brandon Marrazzo and Charlie Baduini.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, 8:15 p.m., April 3rd, coming to you live, the Mazz and Bads Show. Of course, I am your awesome host, Brandon Marrazzo, joined by my co-host, Charlito Charles Baduini, and our great producer, Ant Cafone. Ant, how you doing, buddy?
Technically, we're not live. This is pre-recorded.
Below me.
But, no. Yeah, we're doing good today, Mazz. How are you doing, man?
Just sue me. Honestly, fellas, I'm all right. I'm doing all right. Spent all last night at the hospital last night, but we're good.
What? You didn't tell me that.
Yeah, I know. That's why I woke up mad late, and Charlie just thought I was fucking napping. No, I had actual things going on.
Everything okay?
Blood pressure went through the roof, but she's good.
All right, good. Very good.
We're good. Everything's good, you know? But how you guys living? I'm not gonna lie, I'm exhausted still.
I was just about to
basketball, late sleep. I mean, I can barely stay awake right now, but I'm here because I care.
I was just about to go into something about how this is like one of the greatest times of the year for sports because you got MLB just started. I mean, basketball is getting near to the end of the regular season. Playoffs start soon. We got the Final Four
this weekend.
Final Four this weekend. It's
Charlie, what's your prediction for the NHL Stanley Cup?
Let's go Devils. That's my prediction. That's my prediction.
Yes, yeah, it's gonna be the Panthers, but anyway, we'll keep it moving.
No, but yeah, there's so much sports going on right now, and we got a few topics to touch on here and there. We're going to be dipping our pinky toes into each major sports league a little bit, but I think to kick things off, probably the biggest news story of the last week or so has been these new Torpedo bats that have graced Major League Baseball. I mean, most famously the...
Grace? Are you kidding me? You mean disgrace? This is the worst thing that's ever happened to baseball. How dare we change the game? The Yankees are cheating. Unbelievable. How could you ever? I mean, did you see the amount? 20 home runs the other day from this team? Are you kidding me? Absolutely ridiculous. The whole team's using it. They're just cheating. The Yankees are garbage. Baseball should suspend all of... Get the fuck out of here.
All right.
Like, are you kidding me?
Are you
kidding
we're hanging
me?
up.
Two guys using it.
We're hanging up on Mazz and Opatcong on WFAN real quick.
Dude, it's...
Listen to me, Charlie, please.
Losing... Guys, everybody's losing their mind about this when it's like... One, multiple players throughout the league are using it. Two, there's only two Yankees that I know of that have been consistently using it this season since the start. I know some guys have been experimental with it, but from what my understanding, I believe Jazz Chisholm and Anthony Volpe are the only two Yankees that are consistently using it. And correct me if I'm wrong.
Goldschmidt's been using it.
Has he been consistently with
and
it?
Austin Wells has been consistently.
Okay,
using it.
so
wasn't Giancarlo Stanton using it last year?
Yeah, they've been using them since last year. Not just the Yankees. Other teams are using them. Like
I saw two guys on the Twins were using them the other day.
Yeah,
you know,
there's not just the Yankees using these Torpedo bats. The problem is, so this is what happened. This is why this is getting blown all out of proportion. Saturday, the Yankees were playing the Brewers, second game of the season. Michael Kay goes on in the second inning and talks about in a story, oh, the Yankees have these new Torpedo bats where they isolate the sweet spot to where these guys, they've analyzed their swings and where they make contact with the bat, and they've moved their sweet spots around so that wherever they usually hit the ball, it can go. And it's been going on for like a year or so, and it's just been here and there, sporadically. But the day he says this, the Yankees hit 9 home runs and they beat their franchise record and are 1 away from a major league record for most home runs in a game. So it's just convenient timing that the day that Michael Kay opens his mouth about the sweet spots and these Torpedo bats, the Yankees magically hit like 9 home runs in one game, which is like never going to happen again. All right, like they went on a crazy tear, and the problem was they went up against a guy who normally isn't a really great starting pitcher and a Rule 5 pitcher who is a bottom of the bullpen type of guy. They were just teeing off that day. So they just got bad, the worst situation possible. Of like a situation where it's like, oh, it seems like they're cheating, but really they're not. They're not cheating. Like this is like if you look at the baseball rule book, Rule 3, I think it's 3.02, it says the barrel of the bat can be in any spot. It has to be a certain diameter around, and the Yankees did not break that diameter of the bat barrel in any spot. Like it's just they moved it down. There's no illegal thing that they're doing. The different teams around Major League Baseball are doing it. I'm sure it's going to skyrocket now because of that. But yeah, it's just This is not like a big scandal. I think the problem is the Yankees got caught, or not caught, but like because that assumes that they're doing something bad. But like they were told that they were doing it, and they hit 9 home runs on the certain day that this was brought up during a broadcast.
And it just happened to get caught in that internet cycle of, let's blow it up and everyone sees it and everyone gets outraged.
If this was like insert any team ever, give me the Minnesota Twins, and that happened, nobody would give a damn. But it's the Yankees, so of course we're going to be mad. If it was the Dodgers, we'd be mad too. But like, there's just certain teams, whenever it seems that they have an advantage, we're going to just try to like tear it down. But here's the thing, this isn't banging trash cans and straight cheating. You can go use your highly expensive analytical department that all teams have, because baseball has become such an analytical game these days, and make up these bats too for guys that are getting jammed a lot. So I don't see like a problem with it. Like, congratulations, somebody actually did their job, and analytics actually makes sense to me for once, instead of just throwing out some bullshit theories from whatever calculation that they pulled out of their ass. Like, no, somebody actually took the metrics and applied it into the game, and it actually makes perfect sense, and it can be done by any one of the 30 franchises within MLB. Notice how I didn't say the Ant? I've been working on that just for you, buddy. Anyway, I don't have a problem with it. Go do it. Like this, I don't think this is cheating. Just go change the bat. If the bat was, corked or, not within the parameters, it still meets the parameters, correct?
Yeah, it's still in the parameters. But I'll also say this. If Major League Baseball comes out and says, okay, now we're going to stop the use of torpedo bats, we're going to disallow them, we're going to ban them, then sure. Then after that point, then it's cheating. At this point in the game, where it's not specified and it's not labeled as being illegal, it's not illegal.
And
that's how sports.
You know what this reminds me of, Charlie?
You
remember the lip reading scandal with the Patriots?
like Spygate?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Where they like hired lip readers, and it was just like, that was nowhere within the rule book. Maybe it was like it was totally in the gray area, but there's never been a ruling on it, and anybody could have done it too. But once there's a ruling on it, then congratulations. I can no longer defend it. Now you can't use it moving forward. But there was nowhere stated within the rules where you told me that I couldn't bring in a lip reader to, figure out some dialogue, and then they said now you can't do it. If they do it after that, then it's a problem. Congratulations, somebody found an advantage, and anybody can do it too.
That's the nature of sports, right? You're always looking for that little edge, that little advantage. You're always looking for how to like bend the rules here and there to like give yourself a little advantage. That's been going on since sports was invented, right? Like, unless you're like the Astros scandal was specifically stated that was cheating because you can't use outside technology to interpret other teams' signs. Like, it's literally stated in the rule books you cannot use outside technology. But when you find a loophole in the rules that you can exploit that isn't specifically stated that it's illegal, I don't see a problem in that. Once the MLB comes out and says, hey, can't do this, it's illegal, then it's illegal.
So the other thing that I've kind of gathered while, like reading about it over the weekend in the past few days is a pro argument for a development in batting technology is over the years, pitching has really been broken down to a science. And batting has always kind of been the same since the start of baseball. You want to just try and hit that thing as hard and as far as you can. So why not have more offense in baseball? It makes it more exciting. It's like in the NFL, they don't want to ban the tush push because more points, more first downs, more drives, more whatever. It's the same principle in baseball. You want more points, more people, more eyes watching, more people. You know what I mean? I just think all around it's not bad. I don't think anyone should be punished for it.
I don't think it's necessarily more points that matters, right? I think it's just more action. People want more balls in play. Like, I don't necessarily always want to go to like a game and I'm seeing like the worst defense played ever. There's 5 errors a piece all over the place. Like, no, just give me more action. And I think this is a nice like change that, hey, now we're giving you guys a boost, but like we said, like it's not completely changing the game. They still have to make contact with the spot. They just put more meat on the bat of where they're known to make contact while still keeping the bat within the parameters that they have to. I really don't see what the big headache is. Like, if you got a dude on your team that your metrics are saying is hitting the same spot, maybe go get him a torpedo bat.
And then also one last thing, I feel like if it was as overpowered and as much as an advantage as it is, literally every hitter would be using one, right? And Shohei Ohtani today said, I don't really know. I want to stick with my own bat. Max Muncy tried
Aaron
it for...
Judge hit 3 home runs that day, did not use a torpedo bat.
Max Muncy last night against the Braves, he tried it for his first 2 at-bats, couldn't get a hit. He switches back to his old bat, and he got a hit. You know what I mean? So, like, it's not like it's like a cheat code or anything. You know what I mean? I think it's all about comfortability.
It's specifically designed for guys who have, like, a sort of a different plane in their swing. Like Anthony Volpe, the reason why the torpedo bat works for him is because the ball, when he swings, would typically hit the label on the inner half of the bat. That's why he'd have a lot of broken bats throughout the season. And like he wasn't making good contact on the barrel, so they just moved the barrel down. And now you're seeing him. He already has 4 home runs in the first 6 games of the season. And I think he had like 12 all last year, 15 all last year. Like now his numbers are up. So it's like you found something. It works for some guys. It doesn't work for other guys. And that to me, that's why I think that torpedo bats aren't going to go away, because the numbers show that it doesn't specifically lead to offensive numbers. It just depends on the player.
And let's not forget, too, Yankee Stadium is probably the friendliest stadium in the entire league when it comes to hitting home runs. I mean, like, if you go and look at, like, the numbers of, like, a good amount of those home runs, and other parks, you know, they might be doubles, they're flyouts, like, depending on where, like, that's the problem that I've always had with baseball. I know everybody loves the character of a park, the different dimensions, and it gives, like, this new feel and all this. I was always pissy that it's, like, okay, and I'm a Yankees fan where it's like, yeah, some of these guys' numbers are going to look way better hitting, 62 home runs a year that might not have always been home runs in these parks. Like, I always just wanted, like, a home run should be a home run should be a home run, the same way that a touchdown is a touchdown, a three-pointer is a three-pointer, but that's just me personally. I understand that there's people that have been watching the sport way longer than me, and it's just like, this is how we do it, and it's not going to change, but whatever. But it's like, what I'm saying is we're mad about the bat, but we're not mad that a flyout in one stadium is a home run in another, is a triple in another, is a double in another. Like, so if you're that mad about disparity, change the goddamn dimensions to all be the same. 400 feet is a home run all over the place. I don't know.
Yeah, and I think one last comment from me on the torpedo bats. Pat Murphy, manager of the Milwaukee Brewers, after the 9 home run game the Yankees had against the Brewers, and the reporters brought up the torpedo bats to him, and they said, how do you feel about this? Do you think this is illegal? Do you think this is bad? And he goes, it's not the wand that makes the magic, it's the magician. So at the end of the day, it's still the hitters that have to do the job, that get the ball up and out of the ballpark, and they have to have the perfect swing, they have to have the perfect timing, they have to time up the pitch. Like, a lot goes into at bat, and if the bat itself, it's not changed. It's just the barrel has changed. The bat itself, it's still the same. It's still the same diameter. It's still the same length. It's still everything. It's just the barrel itself has moved a little bit down. I don't think it's cheating. I mean, it could be my bias showing, but if Major League Baseball comes out and says it is, and we're gonna ban these bats, then yeah, then of course it'll be cheating after that. But for now, it's not.
Fair enough, Ed. I have another problem with baseball right now. I saw something on the opening day for the Yankees at home. I was watching that Brewers game, and they're interviewing Rhys Hoskins I'm fine with the middle of the game. You get a guy in the dugout, no problem. The man is mic'd up and forced to answer questions in the middle of an at-bat. While they ask him a question, had to wait for him to answer because he had to go field. Dude's got enough on his mind. He's in a hostile environment like the freaking Bronx with those, psychos all around him. And he's got to worry about somebody asking him some whatever damn question in the middle of the game. Like, what is this? Like, I understand access to players and wanting to hear more. But, dude, that was the most ridiculous thing I've ever seen in my life. And I could not help but feel bad for that guy.
Other broadcast team does that except for ESPN.
They shouldn't. It's ridiculous.
ESPN, I'm going to say this right now. This is my little rant right now before we go on the next subject. ESPN is starting to become a clown show. All right? I'm so done sitting down on a Saturday afternoon and watching ESPN. ESPN was like my childhood growing up. I always watched SportsCenter every single morning. You had highlights. You had to watch the stuff from before. You had real experts coming on and giving great breakdowns. Who's the hockey guy? I'm trying to remember his name. The guy with the cool mullet. I wasn't even a hockey fan, but that guy was always the best. Because what?
Talking about Patrick Kane?
No, he was an analyst on ESPN.
Oh, my bad. I thought the first mullet I ever saw in hockey was Blackhawks guy.
He would give a great breakdown of hockey. He wouldn't leave his opinions in it. Like, he would actually give you like the straight facts. ESPN has become a clown show. It's just straight talking head after straight talking head after straight talking. I know we're a talking head show, but we're not ESPN. We're not supposed to be the freaking basin of sports information that's supposed to be coming out. So I'm just starting to like really get annoyed with this ESPN and like the mid-game interviews. They're more worried about getting a story and a quote from a player mid-game than actually the game itself. Like this is becoming like too much of an issue. We're so focused on clicks and trying to generate engagement online than we are about actually trying to promote the sports and the athletes themselves. I'm annoyed with them. I'm done with ESPN. I'm not watching anymore. Outside of like watching a game that my team is playing in, I'm not going to be watching any type of talking head show. And also, this whole Stephen A. LeBron garbage. Kendrick Perkins is unfollowing him and blocking his number. Like, what is this garbage? I don't care about this. This isn't sports news. This is just two grown men, little kid beef going on right now over national television. I'm done with ESPN. I don't know about you guys, but I'm stopping.
No, I don't blame you at all. It is very silly. Like it's almost like when LeBron went on McAfee, that was like Stephen A. licking his chops. Like, oh, I can milk this on First Take for like the first hour, dude. Like, you know what I mean? It's just like you have a point. You're right. It's like it's not about the sports content anymore. It's just about content.
I disagree with him. Half disagree with him. One, I'm still gonna watch ESPN. That's just programmed in me. It is what it is. I'm gonna watch wherever I get my sports. It is what it is. But I will say this. The only reason why I'm going to push back on you is that I aspire to be a talking head. That's what we're doing here right now, and I actually think that is my favorite part of sports. I hear what you're saying, that they, worldwide leader in sports, and it was all about, like, the beginnings of SportsCenter was about two things: broadcasts and sports reporting. And now it is no longer that. It's more Barstool-esque, where like hot take culture is taken
personalities
over, a personality driven and stuff. And I'm here for that, for the sole fact of that's what I want to consume. But I do understand people who grew up with SportsCenter and like their favorite moments weren't that, because I really think that Ant's right, where like there's not much reporting going on. There's like, yes, they have broadcasts, but it's just doesn't feel like the same. Like the company dynamic, just looking from the outside, does not seem to be nearly the same. And it's funny because like for everybody that's like so like opinionated, I feel like we don't hear enough of the athlete side. That's why we're seeing like a ton of podcasts come out, which I'm really getting sick and tired of seeing a ton of player podcasts, because they used to go to like those sides with it, where I just wish that we could get back to, hey, talking points are fine. I just wish that I would get back to seeing, instead of LeBron running to Pat McAfee show, I wish LeBron would have went on First Take. Now, as I stated last time that we talked about this, I actually think LeBron's more correct in this situation, and I'm the biggest Stephen A. Smith fan here on this platform by far. And it's like, I just wish that, like, back in the day, Richard Sherman had a problem with Skip Bayless. He went and talked to Skip Bayless. Now we're just seeing, like, people yelling across the hallway, I don't like you, you don't like me, blah, blah, blah. Get in the room and let's hash it out like adults. I just wish we'd get back to that. So I don't want to say that it's necessarily a clown show, but I do think forcing a guy to do an interview while he's quiet. Imagine if we had Steph Curry mic'd up in the middle of a basketball game like that. That's insane. Like, it's one thing to have him, like, mic'd up and hear, like, the sounds of, like, the game. Like, that's fine. Like, I've heard KG, the best profanity in my life came out of those moments. But to, like, quite literally have a guy with an earpiece in and force him to, like, think about that question when he's supposed to be focusing fully on the task at hand, I have a problem with, and they need to never do that again. You want to hit him mid-game, a timeout, whatever, that's fine. The dugout's the perfect place for baseball, for crying out loud. The bench is the perfect place in basketball or football or whatever. But not why the person's in the middle of competing, damn it. That's insane. Imagine if Michael Phelps, while swimming the damn Olympics under the water, had to answer a goddamn question while he's in the middle of swimming.
Well, I guess that's a little different because, I mean...
It just sounds ridiculous.
I agree. It is ridiculous that they're doing this in-game, but, like, to be fair, he's just kind of standing there in between plays, and meanwhile, Michael Phelps is just exerting,
It's not in between plays. You especially with the implementation of the pitch clock, that pitch is coming faster than ever. It's not like we were in the time where it's like, damn, dude, like there's just so much time to fill. Games are going 3.5, 4 hours. Dude, a game might be 2.5 hours these days with the new changes of the rules, which I'm completely fine for. It's great for TV. It's a lot more easier to like consume. It does kind of kill my day. Go into the game. Depending on if you like to do something afterwards. For me, it's hard enough to get to the damn city and like that game, I'm done. Like I'm going home. I'm not doing anything else. I'm tired, right? But now it's like, now I'm tired. It just got jam packed and we're out of there within 2.5 hours. That dude literally has that ball zipping at him mid damn question. Like it's insane. I just don't understand what we're doing. Who thought this was a good idea? But you know what? At least they're trying to be innovative, so I'll give points there. But just no, I don't want to see that. Though.
Well, after this season, we won't have to worry about it anymore because I think as we touched on the last show, ESPN is dropping baseball coverage, MLB coverage, so it's all good. And that ties a neat little bow on that little segment there.
Hater.
Great news. It's the best thing that baseball could do.
He's such a hater.
No, because ESPN doesn't really care about baseball.
Like I said,
they're not going to promote it on their platform. Then why should they even have games there? I agree with baseball's stance on that.
I guess I would like to see ESPN and other sports networks talk more about other sports, and I'll give you that. But I also
ESPN
wish
needs
that
some competition. That's what they need. They need some real competition in this game. Then that'll inspire them to start actually, giving two damns about their product.
Well, you know what,
Charlie?
it. Me and you being big sports radio guys, right? Well, all of us being big sports radio, but like I know Charlie always has it like locked in the second I get into his car. It's like I feel like I wish ESPN radio was still like a thing. I'm not downloading the app. I don't. If I want to do that, I'll go hit a podcast. Like I just wanted to just tune in. So I'm pissed that I can't listen to that. But like especially with like WFAN and like outside of like the Michael K show, it's like all they want to talk about is football and baseball. You get a little basketball sprinkled in, but like there's other stuff where it's like, I don't know, dude. Like, how do you feel about like these platforms just cranking out the same material left and right? I guess it has to do because of viewership and getting numbers, but like I personally, I like having a platter and I like choosing from a variety.
Yeah, I guess it boils down to viewership. I don't know. I mean, most of the time, yeah, it's like right now you have MLB that just teed off, and I was listening to Evan and Tiki when they first started at 2:00, and they were talking about how the Giants were going to have a locker room problem because the locker room's going to like Jameis more than Russell Wilson. So like, it's just
I do like Jameis more than Russell.
I don't know.
How can you not?
I mean, yeah, if I'd rather hang out with one of them, like, yeah, one seems more of an exciting person, but I don't think it's going to be a lot. You think that's going to be a locker room problem?
I don't know.
This is what we've got? Stop it.
Creating stories.
Speaking of quarterbacks, the Dallas Cowboys have a new backup quarterback.
Oh, Joe Milton, come on down. Anybody got the details of that trade?
Yeah, it was a 4th and a 7th rounder, if I'm not mistaken.
Gary, way to go, baby. That is great value for one of the strongest arms in the game. We finally have a backup quarterback that I actually can believe in. I don't want to see Cooper Rush anymore. Trey Lance is doo-doo. It's finally. And I'm hoping, please, for the love of God, let this move kill all the rest of the rumors that Dak's on his way out. I've been hearing Dak trade left and right.
And it's not happening.
Cleveland.
Not happening.
Stop it. Stop it. I like it. I like the move. Doesn't move the needle. I wish there was bigger news going on behind who's going to be my backup quarterback, but you know what? It is, for me, for the value, a move. A move,
I'm
Jerry.
sad because I want to see Joe Milton play. I want him to be like I want to get a chance as a starting quarterback.
You'll see him play.
When Dak's hurt?
I hate that you said that. Let's not act like that's not a possibility.
I don't want Dak to get hurt. Well,
sure,
that's the only way Joe Milton gets time.
I get that, but what's Dak? 31?
That's a good question, actually.
Joe Milton's a little younger. You never know.
Milton, after what he did in that one game, who did the Patriots play in that game? Was the Bills?
32 in July. Yeah, the week 18 against the Bills when he lit it up.
Yeah,
so what do you think Dak's got? 4 or 5 years left?
Yeah.
With that injury history, God forbid, dare I say shorter.
Yeah, but you're gonna shelve a guy for 4 years.
You never know.
He's like 24 already.
He's gonna see the field before.
I mean, he's got 3 years on his rookie contract. I don't know. I mean, the Cowboys like to invest in young backup quarterbacks with hidden talent. I mean, you saw them trade for Trey Lance a few years ago. Who's still out there.
Even before that, right? Hold on. Dak Prescott was taken in the 4th round.
Tony Romo was still there.
Tony Romo was nowhere. He went undrafted, I'm pretty sure, if I'm not mistaken. All right. So it's like the Cowboys franchise guys, it's not the biggest name in the draft, so you never know. Joe Milton very much may be the next franchise quarterback for the Dallas Cowboys when Dak retires. He's young enough.
I just go back to that throw week 18. What was it? A 60-yard throw. It was the hardest throw in the history of football. Like 100.
I think it was 70. It was low 60s, and I think it was the second fastest throw. The first one being Jordan Love had a touchdown pass against the Texans in Week 5 of this past year. That was just like a tick faster. But regardless, still Joe Milton. Yeah, he's just got a rocket launcher for an arm.
Yeah. He was falling away. That's
but
even more impressive off his back foot.
I'm glad that they did that, though, because clearly they put the stake in Drake May. So we're not going to see this kid's career necessarily wither away without a chance. Like, he's can actually learn behind somebody and potentially take the reins. Like I said, like, Dak's not going to be there forever. I wish he was. My favorite player on the damn team at this point.
If I was Pittsburgh, I wouldn't have wasted my time with Aaron Rodgers trying to get this whole thing done. I would have gone after Joe Milton the moment he was available on the trade block.
From what I'm hearing...
The thing is, if you're a team that's trying to win this year, which the Steelers are, you're just going to bank all your hopes on a guy who started one game last year against the Bills backups. All due respect, you know what I'm saying?
Not a 42-year-old man.
I mean, that personally,
who's been crazy in the past.
They should have brought back Russell Wilson. Should have absolutely brought back Russell Wilson. They absolutely are going to go quarterback in the draft. The question is, does Shedeur Sanders fall to them now with the recent news supposedly from Adam Schefter that the Cleveland Browns and the Giants aren't looking at a quarterback? I'll believe it when I fully see it, but they are now, with what things are being said and the rumors circling around, there's a real potential that Shedeur drops far. It's not like we've never seen it before. I mean, Lamar Jackson, freaking Heisman winner, fell all the way to what, pick 30 for you guys?
Well, yeah,
Kenny Pickett, the year Kenny Pickett got drafted.
But also,
so it's like guys always fall. You never know. And I've been hearing Jackson Dart was always in the mix for them as well. So you don't know what's going on. Like,
to be fair, Lamar was always going to be the 4th or 5th quarterback picked in that draft. It's revisionist history to say he's not.
Sure.
And
but,
I think
do you think that he was going to fall that far?
Yeah, he was projected to be a late first, early second rounder.
I was looking at Lamar like he absolutely should be higher than some of the guys that went over. Who went over Lamar? And I know you got to burn it to your head.
Oh yeah, it was Baker at 1.
I understand that.
3.
I don't get that.
Sam Darnold was a dude.
I didn't get that one.
That's revisionist history, Mazz. That's revisionist
not
history.
Revisionist history.
Yes, it is.
Charlie, I swear to God, when I went and looked, I never was impressed by Sam Darnold. You can go and ask my brother-in-law who works for the damn organization. I said, you guys messed up by not taking Lamar Jackson. I was a Lamar Jackson fan until I met Big J. That's when I started hating on Lamar Jackson.
But it was Baker at 1, Darnold at 3,
that I understand.
Josh Allen at 7,
didn't understand that.
Josh Rosen at 10,
didn't get that either,
and Lamar at 32.
Yeah, no, I firmly believe always, even not looking revisionist, because if you want to look revisionist, yeah, Josh Allen should be, the first or second quarterback taken, depending. But I've always thought that Lamar Jackson should have been the second quarterback in that draft, and that's just because Baker won the damn Heisman the year before, if I'm correct.
So,
right, like that year that they went.
That's great, but consensus, like around that draft. It was always Sam Darnold was supposed to be the first quarterback off that board. It was the biggest shock of the night when Baker went first overall.
The problem is also Lamar didn't do the combine that year.
Yeah,
because they were wanting him to go as a receiver,
which was ridiculous. One and two, and you want to know how I know that I can stand by this? Because the year that Zach Wilson got picked up too, it was the consensus. Zach Wilson did. I said it should have been Justin Fields at 2 forever, my friend. And guess what we finally got? Just what we finally got, baby. They finally listened to Mazz, and they said, now we're going to fucking bring him in. Thanks, buddy.
You want to talk revisionist history? That's Woody Johnson. This past weekend.
Did you hear what Woody said?
Charlie, you know what it is, dude? I just always go against the grain. I don't care what the public opinion is. I go against the public opinion 90% of the damn time.
I mean, like public opinion, but it's like people whose job it is to analyze and do the draft and prospect rankings and analyze tape and film. You know what I mean? I trust that sometimes and when I'm going into a draft and I need to know who to look out for and who to keep an eye on. You know what I mean?
I got a feeling, Chucky. I just look at him and I hit more than I miss, baby. That's why I do this.
Okay.
Woody Johnson. Yeah, we had Justin Fields as our second quarterback after Trevor Lawrence. It was either Trevor or Justin Fields, and took Zach Wilson. Like,
when they had the second pick
does
in
he
the draft.
not realize how stupid he sounds?
Zach Wilson got drafted off of one goddamn throw at a pro day. Do we realize this? One throw. Oh my God, that was Patrick Mahomes. He's all of a sudden has Patrick Mahomes' talent, potential ceiling. Like Zach Wilson. I think
Well,
Zach
last year
Wilson...
at BYU, he had good stats.
Sure, but he did not have a
The only-
better season than Justin Fields had playing against the level of competition he was playing against. Right? Right.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah. I don't know.
You know? So it's like, all I'm saying with that is, Chucky, I promise you, I'm going to make up my own opinion. I'm going to live and die by it. And if I'm wrong, I'm wrong. I'll be the first one to come on this platform and be like, hey, I was wrong. But Mazz isn't always wrong.
Well, I guess we can see how right or wrong you'll be when the NBA awards come out, because we're wrapping up the NBA season. We got about a dozen, maybe less games to go, and we got 6 games left. Really?
6 games left.
Wow. Okay, I was totally off
I
there.
can't wait. Give me playoffs. I'm so sick of this being strung out. Like, good God, let's just get to the meat and potatoes. We're all here for. I want to see the best of the best go at it. I'm sick of just like, you see guys like it's towards the end. Like, hey, I got to start shutting it down for playoffs. Getting a little tired. This and that. Whatever. Let's go get after it, baby. But we got awards first.
Yeah, we're gonna go through all the awards, and we're gonna pick our winners based on who we think it should be through those first 76 games, and we'll start from the top with the MVP conversation. Now it's down to 2 guys. It's Nikola Jokic or it's Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, and regardless of who you think it should be, there really is no wrong answer between these 2 guys. They're both having phenomenal generational seasons, but someone's got to win, someone's got to lose. So. And we'll start with you. Who do you think is going to be winning the MVP this season?
Listen, Shai's had a fantastic year. 33 points per game. His team's got over 60 wins. Thunder are going to be the 1 seed in the West. Great. Awesome. Shai, I'd say like in probably 97%, 98% of years, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander is the MVP of the league. But you cannot deny Nikola Jokic is not the most valuable player in the National Basketball Association. He's top 10 in points, rebounds, and assists. Never been done.
And steals, I think, as well.
Basketball.
Believe it or not.
What is it?
And steals as well, I think.
Steals. Never been done in the history of basketball. Never. Ever. And I get it. It's a arbitrary stat. But like that's the only way I put a guy over a guy who's had team success is if you're breaking records. Okay, like that's the only way. If you're breaking records, that's when I say you deserve to have the MVP over a guy that has 60 or so wins in team basketball and has the 1 seed. It's if you're breaking records and you're doing stuff that's never been seen before. We just saw Nikola Jokic last night against the Timberwolves have a 61-point triple-double. I get there was 2 overtimes, but 61 point. Just we've never seen that. That's never been done. 61 point triple double. Like that's crazy.
For sure.
That's insane.
Yeah,
like we're never gonna see that ever again.
It's absurd.
We're
It's
never
absurd.
gonna see that.
It's
Nikola
nice.
Jokic.
It's awesome.
I get it. There's
Hell of
voter
a night.
fatigue. He's won 2. He's won 2 MVPs. I get it. And it's voter fatigue. And Shai's got the 1 seed. And he's the number 1 scorer in the league. But Nikola Jokic, when he is not on the floor, the Nuggets are a bottom 10 team in the NBA.
Okay.
I don't want to hear they are a bottom 10
Hold
team
on.
in the NBA when he's on the court. When Shai's not on the court, the Thunder are still a top 3 seed in the West. That's a fact.
You think if you take Shai off that team, they're a top 3 team in the West?
Yes.
Well, no.
I don't know about that.
Yes.
Well, no. And I'll
Don't
tell
know
you
about
right now why I know this to be true. Why? Because not only is the man averaging more than 30 points a game, not only do I have 17 reasons being the win difference of that team as to who should be the MVP, Shai's also top 5 odds in DPOY this year across 2 different betting sites I just damn saw because he locks in on both sides. This is exactly what I love in a star. And guess what? He's checking off the most important criteria that we said matters more than anything. winning. And he's not only just winning, he's winning in the West. He's winning in a conference that has Nikola Jokic, that has LeBron James, Steph Curry, my Jimmy Butler, Ant Edwards, what have you. He's winning. And he is by far, undisputed, the most important player on that team. All right, like, dude, this kid gets screwed year in and year out, and it's finally time to give him some damn flowers. That is amazing what Jokic did the other night. He's not doing it for the entire season, though, is he? There ain't no 60 point. There's not no 60 points.
Double. They lost still.
Sure, and I get that. Right?
Goes to show you, there's really, I guess Aaron Gordon's dropped 30 points, but really no one
you know
else
what?
in that Nuggets
and you
team
know what? Kobe
helping
Bryant
Jokic right now.
Kobe Bryant dropped 81 against a crappy Raptors team with Smush Parker in the starting lineup. Nobody cared about having bad teammates then, and nobody cares about having bad teammates right now neither, when somebody is also performing to a high damn level. Should Kobe have
won the MVP that year?
Hell yeah. Yeah, he was leading the entire league in scoring. Thank you.
Okay, so then Jokic
leading the league in scoring.
So Jokic should have the MVP.
No, I don't think so.
Jokic is number 3 in points, and he's number freaking what?
Sure, but then defense, that defense is nowhere near. All right, nowhere near what Shai is. Shai has gotten screwed every year. It is time to give the man his damn flowers. For somebody who defends Steve Nash's 2 MVPs like you do, how can we deny Shai this one when he has 64 wins and 12 losses? The season's not even over yet. They're 10-0 they're 10-0 in the last thing. You just want to give Jokic an award every year. I don't get it. Like, dude, he's great. He's awesome. He's literally all of our number 1 picks for the best player in basketball, but he's not the MVP this season. Somebody's outperforming him, and it is Shai.
This is just Lamar Jackson versus Josh Allen 2.0. Is a guy who's winning versus a guy who's having a freaking one of the greatest seasons we've ever seen in the history of basketball.
Congratulations, you got that one when Dak got screwed. We've already talked to you. Jokic already screwed him. Stop this.
So SGA is also having a historic season. Like, if you want to compare what he's doing with the best Kobe Bryant seasons, the best Michael Jordan seasons, the best Dr. J, Allen Iverson, some of the best scoring seasons we've ever seen in the history of the NBA, this one is up there. 33 points per game on 52% shooting, 6 assists, 5 rebounds, 69 consecutive games with 20-plus points in a season, which is 4th most all-time with Jordan. Just absolutely absurd stuff from SGA. And like Mazz, like you said, the defense is there too. And when they're both having these generational type seasons that we haven't seen in a long time, yeah, the edge is going to go to who has the more wins. And because the Thunder are the number 1 seed in the West, if I had a vote, it's going to Shai.
He's also taking 9 free throws a game. 9 free throws a game.
You're acting like it's 17 like Harden's MVPs. What are you talking about right now? 9 free throws a game.
9 free throws a game. You know how many Jokic is taking right now?
How many?
All right, I'm looking at it right now. 6.
Oh,
you know what the difference in their points per game is right now?
What?
2.
Okay, that's fair. If
Jokic gets those 2 extra free throws, does his points match Shai and he has the same amount of points?
Maybe he should hit more free throws. What do you want me to tell you? Maybe he should win more games, and I'll stop bitching about it, right?
And one more thing.
He shouldn't hit free throws like he does. He is the new age Harden.
Let me ask you a question. What do you care about more, individual performance or winning and being the best player on the team?
I think if you put Jokic on OKC, that team's still in the same spot.
I think if you put Shai on that team, they're probably in the same spot.
Okay, so
I would argue that because guess what? If you put Shai on the Nuggets, congratulations, they play better perimeter defense than they ever have, and they still got the points. They're still getting a guy who can distribute. It takes a lot of pressure off of Jamal Murray. There's a lot that comes with Shai. Like, I'm never going to say that Jokic isn't going to benefit a team. You're 110% right there, but don't you dare act like Shai Gilgeous-Alexander does not benefit a team the second he walks through the door. We're talking about the 2 best players in basketball, ball none for this season, except for maybe Victor Wembanyama, who unfortunately has a blood clot issue going on and can't be on the damn court. But outside of that, and even then, Wemby wasn't putting up the offensive points that these 2 were putting up. We're talking about 1A and 1B, and winning finally has to matter again. And so help me God, if you ever bring up Steve Nash again, I will smack the goatee off you.
I'm just saying, when Jokic is off the floor, I'm pretty sure like the Thunder plus minus, the Nuggets plus minus is like -12.
But I'm not saying. Listen, we know
They're one of
OKC
the
is
worst
better.
teams in basketball without him. They're one of the worst teams.
Listen, we get it, But you think OKC is beating anybody in the playoffs without Shai? Anybody?
Probably not, but I'm saying I think the Thunder, without Shea on the floor, like their reserves are like +8 or +9. Like they get the job done. They're a complete team. They're well coached. Like I get Shea's. I think he gets them over the hump as being a 1 seed. That's why I say without him, they're still probably a 4 or 5 seed or 3 seed. I think without Jokic, the Nuggets are a bottom 10 team in the NBA.
You not think Mike Malone's a good coach?
I think he's a decent coach. I
think he's
the
a good coach.
roster
Top 10.
That's around there. I think the Thunder got some of the best coaching in the league right now.
Sure. But, like, don't act like there's a scrub over there. Don't act like this is, Doc Rivers in the playoffs just playing these guys into no man's land. I'm sorry. Like, even Tibbs, Mike Malone is a top 10 coach in the NBA. And he's closer to 5 than we probably like to admit. I don't even like the guy.
Him a little bit too.
I know. I think every great coach has been enhanced by great players, depending on where the success was coming. Eric Spoelstra proved to me what kind of coach he was the Jimmy Butler years, because there was literally nothing outside of one guy. There's still talent on the Nuggets, but yeah, they've been plagued by injuries, and I'll give you that. I just don't think that anybody, like you're saying, nobody is capable of filling Jokic's shoes on the Nuggets when he's out. There's not a single person capable, even with Chet Holmgren, even insert whatever damn name you want. Nobody is capable of filling Shai's shoes playing for OKC. So what you're saying,
I do think
it's
Shea's
just not
gonna win
it applies both the same.
I do think Shea's going to win because of the voter fatigue.
Well, I think they voted Jokic MVP wrong in, at least 1 year. But it is what it is. But finally, Shai's been passed up multiple times. It is finally his time to actually win one. We said that winning is so important, and it should be. This kid deserves to get his flowers. OKC is not a stacked team like the Boston Celtics. They do not have the name recognition compared to other teams. They're a great team. They're a great team, but they do not have the name recognition that other teams are benefiting off of. So, yeah, it's a really good roster, but don't tell me that there's household names on OKC outside of Shai.
All right, so we're starting to go in circles now, so we'll move on after this. But yeah, Mazz, OKC may not have the name recognition, but they are 8-9 deep.
Yeah, dude,
you may not know the
good.
names, but they have a lot of really good basketball players. A lot.
I'm not saying that they're scrubs. I'm just saying let's not act like this guy has a clear Robin. Let's not act like that this is the most stacked team we've ever seen. They're young, they're hungry, and they're built phenomenally. And they quite literally play Wolfpack defense when they're just swarming with each other. All right? And it's because of their young and their youth and the willingness to go out there and put their bodies on the lines. You know who else was capable of doing that before the injuries? Denver.
All right. So we're not going to change each other's minds, so we'll just keep it moving to Defensive Player of the Year. That is also a two-man race at the moment. It's between Evan Mobley and Draymond Green. Mazz, you can name your guy first here.
Yeah, I love Draymond. I love Draymond so much, and I know all the advanced analytics and yada yada, but dude, I just look at it, and I love Draymond Green. However, you cannot sit there and tell me playing along Jimmy Butler hasn't enhanced that defense. Playing with Steve Kerr, of course, has made him just a better player over the years. I think Evan Mobley's strides, especially on the defensive end, it's undeniable, dude. You're afraid to go into the paint against the Cleveland Cavaliers. You are I saw Cat. He put up 22 points. He still struggled. He's one of the best offensive guys when it comes to just getting after it, not only in the paint, just in big man offense. And Evan Mobley always seems to step up. Now, don't get me wrong. I get that he has Jarrett Allen, and that helps him out as well. But I think Evan Mobley has done enough. He is the cornerstone of that defense, even with Allen playing with them. That's how good Mobley is. We're not even talking about Allen for DPOY. We're talking about damn Mobley. And again, being the number 1 seed, that's built off of their defense and that starting 5. And he has not only become the guy for them, he is quite literally making the difference on their defensive ratio. I think it's Evan Mobley for me this year, my friends.
I mean, they both have a defensive rating of 108.5. Right now. I think they're playing both insanely good defense, but I think right now I think DPOY is one where you could go to the records a little bit and go to the win totals and see who's really impacting on the defensive end more. And I think Mobley, was he at like almost 3 blocks a game right now? It's like 2.7, 2.8. Like he's getting the blocks. I think it's an overlooked stat, but I think having like good like blocks and steals per game is definitely something that we should just look at. And I think it's just overlooked because we look at these advanced analytics, but I just think one guy I think is also getting really overlooked in this Defensive Player of the Year race is the rookie Dyson Daniels in Atlanta, who's got like almost 4 steals a game.
How dare you?
He's emerging.
How dare you?
I think he should be the Rookie of the Year.
I was going to name drop him for my most improved, and I was going to hope you guys were going to be like, who? He's actually a third-year player, by the way, Dyson Daniels.
Third-year player. Who am I thinking of? That the rookie for Atlanta. It was Rasher.
Yeah, Ricochet.
But I like Dyson Daniels, but I'm agreeing with you, Mazz. I think Mobley with the win totals and his ability to just protect the paint, and I think that's the reason why the Cavs have just been such a highly, have a high win total this year because of their defense.
Yeah, I actually got to push back on you just for the fact of like I love blocks and steals, but sometimes going for those actually like even if like you have like a high success rating, which like just because like getting like a total of them doesn't mean that like the percentage is always necessarily there. Like blocks and steals can actually take you out of a bad defensive positioning for it. So I actually think defensive rating is a great indicator for me on most years on it because it's really telling us just how your man-to-man defense is really good and how good you are protecting your zones, your switches, and everything like that help defense. I actually for me, it's the best advanced analytic in the game. I really don't care about other advanced analytics because I feel like they don't tell the full story. I feel like this one tells the full story most of the time. 108 is actually really high compared to like other years for like the race. I know like Rudy Gobert normally like was winning that around like 98 to 99. So, but like I said, I'm with you, man.
It's just
and Charlie, I absolutely hate how right you would have been, where you would have dropped the name and I would have actually been like, who? Get that out of here!
Yeah, I mean, regardless, I think for me, it's Draymond. And I don't say that lightly because, I mean, like you guys said, it's really close. The Cavs are the number 1 seed in the East. They have a lot more wins than the Warriors. And, Mazz, you kind of touched on, he does have some help in Jimmy Butler, but Jimmy didn't get there until February. Draymond, he's been carrying the defensive load for the Golden State Warriors all season long. I mean, they got Looney. Gary Payton II's a good defensive player, but besides that, Draymond's kind of had the full load of defensive responsibilities.
Kuminga's no slouch, bro.
Huh?
Kuminga's no slouch.
He hasn't played.
Yeah, but like he's been there throughout the year. Like he's had guys.
No,
he had Andrew Wiggins with him until freaking Jimmy got there too. Like
Wiggins got hurt too. I don't know. And
also one aspect that we gotta look for in both of these guys is that Mobley's 6'10", right?
He's close to 7 feet. Yeah, and Draymond
he can guard 1 through 5.
So can Draymond.
But Draymond's 6'8".
Yeah, but
Mobley's got a bigger wingspan. And I just think his ability to have that height and guard 1 through 5.
I do think. Well, hold on. Draymond's more closer to like 6'5". There's no way he's actually. I don't care if they say
I
that
think he's listed as 6'7", 6'8".
Yeah, dude, he's 6'5". Like I've seen him compared next to other guys. Like he's short.
He's close to being a 7-footer.
No, 100%. But you know what? I'm just gonna say this too, right? Like if we compare that,
Draymond's 6'6", by the way.
I think the 7-footer putting up, triple doubles is a lot less impressive than the guy who's like 6'2" putting up 32 points a game. That's just me.
All right.
Anyway,
I'm going Draymond. You guys going Mobley?
Yes, sir.
All right. Rookie of the Year. Now we kind of touched on this before we started recording.
The worst race in the history of me paying attention to the National Basketball Association. Nobody's standing out. I'm not in love with anybody. I might just concede the vote because I don't mean to, crap on the young guys, and I know I'm normally the old head on the damn podcast, but it's just like, dude, who gives a shit?
Well, I mean, the voters do because they got to give it to somebody. So it's between 2 guys right now. You got Stephon Castle over in San Antonio on the Spurs, and then the probably most underwhelming first overall pick of all time, and I hate that's how you describe this guy because he's having a really solid season. Zachary Richichet on the Atlanta Hawks, who is my personal Rookie of the Year pick. He's basically like a 6'8" Klay Thompson, great shooter and plays really good defense, and he's slowly the last month or two of the season has been coming on really nicely for the Atlanta Hawks. And for me, he's actually been contributing to like a semi-winning basketball team. The Hawks are in the play-in right now and moving up and down from 7 and 10. I think that eventually they'll probably end up in those like first two seeds in the play-in tournament and maybe make some noise there. And then for the Spurs, you pull up Castle's stats and yeah, they look okay, but it's a lot of empty statistics because ever since Wemby's gone down, they shut down De'Aaron Fox. They shut down all their good players, and they're just letting these guys, go get your NBA legs under you. You know what I mean? So for me, Zachary Richichet, hopefully I'm saying that correctly because it's some sort of French name. He's my Rookie of the Year.
This was giving me Malcolm Brogdon versus Dario Saric Rookie of the Year vibes right now. Like this is like one of those type of years where it's like, oh my god, like this is the Rookie of the Year.
Actually,
I'm not trying to like downplay these guys.
I'm going to call time out on you real quick, Ant, because I think Brogdon had 50, 40, 90 his rookie year, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, how many shots did he take a game?
I don't know. Let me check real quick.
Like 5. Like this is giving me like those type of vibes. Like these are guys who are going to be solid NBA players, right? They're probably going to be role players. They'll be probably 6-7 men off the bench. Maybe they'll be a good solid role player starter. But like these guys aren't going to be like superstars. Like these guys are going to be good contributing NBA players. And I feel like the Rookie of the Year is supposed to be a guy that is like, boom, this is the next superstar, one of the next faces of the league. This is the guy that we're supposed to be pushing moving forward. And it's just like, this race this year is just kind of like Stephon Castle, Zachary Richichet, 15 points per game versus 11 points per game.
I can't give it to Castle for the sole fact.
I'm gonna give it to Castle though.
I'm with Charlie. Like, there's a big minutes to be filled with Wemby going down. Like, I feel like I can't give like the nod there. Like, I don't know, dude. I feel like the other one's been filling like his role more so. Give me Zach Edey. Give me Zach Edey, Rookie of the Year, babe. No, I'm joking. But yeah, I don't know, dude. I don't mean to hate on like the younger generation. It's just not it for me, my friends.
I think next year's Rookie of the Year race when you get Cooper Flagg and Dylan and VJ Edgecombe and all those guys coming in, and Ace Bailey and all these guys coming in, it's gonna be that's next year's gonna be a good race. I think I'm gonna give it to Castle just because this last month he's been kind of popping off. I think he's been averaging closer to 19-20 over the last month of the season. I think the recency bias is definitely gonna play into that. Like he's just having a better end to the year. And I think for a race like this, that's just not crazy. Like the stats aren't really popping off at you. I think the end of the year and how they've performed towards the end of the season is really going to play a factor into the process. I think Castle's having a better end of the season right now.
Listen, Carmelo Anthony just retired. It takes me back to that rookie race where he should have won. All right, so it's like.
By the way, your son didn't become a McDonald's All-American?
Really?
He's like the number 26th player in the country.
He's already committed to Syracuse too.
Interesting. Hey, shout out Carmelo Anthony for making the Hall of Fame. You should have been the Rookie of the Year, but like fellas, like I said, like this just ain't it for me, bro. Please, somebody, put on a damn show next year, please.
Who's your pick, Mazz? Who's your pick?
I told you, I'm agreeing with you.
Richichet?
Yeah.
I just like saying that name. Richichet.
Okay. It's a hard. I'm gonna butcher it, so we're gonna leave it right there.
Where's Matt Boucher when you need him?
The damn French.
All right, sixth man of the year. Also between I would say like three guys. You got Peyton Pritchard of the Boston Celtics. You got Ty Jerome of the Cleveland Cavaliers, and then the Detroit Pistons. Malik Beasley's having a great year off the bench for them. We'll go back around. And who is your pick for sixth man of the year?
It's Pritchard. Pritchard. Like, this is like Lou Williams type of sixth man of the year vibes. Like he's like there'd be nights where Tatum, Brown, Porzingis are all out, and it's just Peyton Pritchard really. Like that's the only guy on the floor, and the Celtics are still winning games. Like the fact that this guy's coming off the bench And if he was starting on another team, he would probably be a quality 22 point per game starter. Like, I think Peyton Pritchard is such an asset, and it's just the Boston Celtics' ability to just get talent, develop them, and just continually, year in and year out, have a deep-ass team. And Peyton Pritchard this year has, I think for me, far and away run away with the Sixth Man of the Year race.
Anthony Cafone, we finally agree on something tonight, buddy. I'm with you 110%. I mean, listen, this guy should be in the most improved talks as well if it wasn't for a certain name that we'll get to in a bit. But, like, dude, just like the leaps and bounds like he's taken, the way that he takes over just like the offensive keys to the game when the Celtics need him. I mean, like, I honestly feel like he's in a class of his own. This should be Austin Reeves Award if we would just have him come off the damn bench, but we don't. But nonetheless, you know, like, Peyton Pritchard has just been absolutely phenomenal, and I feel like for the entire season, just watching it, hearing about it, there should only be one name, honestly. He's just running away with it for me.
Yeah, you guys are both wrong. And it's Ty Jerome of the Cleveland Cavaliers. And I'll tell you why. So, yeah, Peyton Pritchard is having a really good year with the Boston Celtics. He's playing 28 minutes a game. Now we go over to the Cleveland Cavaliers and we go to Ty Jerome, who's playing 19 minutes a game, and their stats are fairly identical. Peyton Pritchard's averaging 2 points per game more, but Ty Jerome is shooting it better from the field, from three, from the free throw line, more steals per game, more assists per game. The only thing Pritchard's got him beaten is points per game and rebounds per game.
And coming off the bench, those points matter.
So here's my case. If Ty Jerome was playing as many minutes as Peyton Pritchard got for the Cavs, as Pritchard does for the Celtics, I think his numbers would be better. So I'm going to go with Ty Jerome as my Sixth Man of the Year. I think as the number one seed in the conference, I think he gets the edge in that department, especially when you take for account the minutes comparison. I'm going with Ty Jerome.
I understand you. I just listen.
Does he have a 40-point game?
Pritchard plays.
Does he have a 40-point game?
He plays as many minutes as Al Horford and Porzingis. Is he really the sixth man? Like, I feel like in Boston, there's like
he's coming off the bench, my friend.
All right, okay. You know what? It is what it is. We'll agree to disagree. You guys got Peyton Pritchard, and I got Ty Jerome. All right.
Listen, somebody on the Boston Celtics has to get love this season. We don't want it to ever be Tatum. I got crucified when I wanted Jaylen Brown as a top 10 player in the damn NBA. Kids, somebody, it's not going to be Joe Mazzulla because I believe that
Tatum's going to be first team
they
All-NBA.
fired the guy who was the better coach. I just want somebody on the Boston Celtics to get love on a podcast outside of the Massachusetts, New England area, all right?
Tatum will be first team All-NBA, and everyone can clap for him.
Listen, that's great. They need more flowers for Boston, and I'm gonna make it Peyton
Outside
Pritchard.
of the corny guy.
Yeah,
all right.
Listen, it's a team success, right? The Boston Celtics are so deep. Well, you know what? They're so deep. I'm giving them Sixth Man of the Year, baby.
All right, fair enough. I don't hate the logic. I just think if Ty Jerome got as many minutes, he'd be wowing us just as much as Peyton Pritchard is. But that's besides the point. I'll let it go. I'm letting it go. I promise. I promise. All right. Before we get to the last player award, let's touch on Coach of the Year real quick. Mazz, who has done the best job this season as an NBA head coach?
So now, obviously, like, you could go to record, right? And it could be the Cleveland Cavaliers. It could be the Oklahoma City Thunder. But for me, I actually think taking the biggest jump means more than anything. And I can't believe I'm about to say this because I really think that they should not have fired my man in Monty Williams. But it's hard to deny that the Detroit Pistons, dude, it's theirs to win right now, right? Like the strides that have been made for Cade Cunningham, the rest of like the damn team, like it is just, it's insane, and it's JB Bickerstaff. It has to be. Like I'm sorry, I don't want to hear about anybody else. Like I've made fun of the Pistons for so long. And to see the level that they've gotten to, especially coming off of, like, arguably the worst season ever, the strides are just ridiculous. And if they give it to anybody but JB Bickerstaff, I'm protesting. Now, Monty still should have been there.
Oh, come on.
Monty could have done the same damn thing. All
If
right?
Monty could have done the same thing, it's the same roster from last year.
Whoa, it's a whole nother year, dude. There's leaps and bounds and everything, all right? Monty should be the head coach of the Spurs
What is it?
next.
What is this
other than
Monty
that,
propaganda? What is this Monty propaganda? What are you
I
doing?
love Monty, all right? Monty's fantastic. He's a great coach, and you know what? He got paid to leave. Good for him. I love it. But no, JB Bickerstaff absolutely deserves his flowers, dude. It's absolutely ridiculous how the strides that they have taken in 1 year. So that's my pick, my friend.
And you got anything different, or?
Yeah, I got something different. It's going to be Mark Daigneault for me, for the fun. I just think the Thunder this year, I mean, year after year, the Thunder were that team that was just on the cusp. And they were, a 6 seed last year, 4 seed a couple years before. Like they were just kind of flirting with it, and everyone thought they were going to be a good team this year. But you thought, like, with all the picks that they have and all the young talent they've acquired, that the rebuild was going to take another, like, 2 to 3 more years before they were really, like, at this point, they're the 1 seed already. Like, they're a 60-win team now before, like, we even thought they were going to be, like, in contention as a top seed in the Western Conference. Credit goes to Shea, top scorer in the league. I think that's also played a huge factor. But, you know, Jalen Williams has been consistently rising under his tenure. I think you talk about Chet Holmgren, you know, finally being healthy and now him being utilized within this scheming. I just think the Thunder are built for success down the road, and Mark Daigneault took them to a level that they could be at. And they're just incredibly coached. Their spacing is amazing. If you watch a Thunder game, like, they're just so in sync. Like, they just boom, 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 pass, shot, basket. And they shoot incredibly efficiently. Their defense, like you said, Mazz, with Shea, has a good perimeter defense, and they're top 5 in both offensive scoring and defensive scoring in the league.
Dort's ridiculous, too.
That's a testament to coaching, man. Having a top 5 offense and a top 5 defense, like, that's rare. And the Thunder are not only one of the best teams in the league this year, but in contention for being I think top 25 team roster all time.
I don't disagree with you for sure. I don't. But for me, Mazz, I'm with you. It's got to be JB Bickerstaff, just because they literally went from having the worst record in the NBA to they're not even going to be in the play-in. They're going to be in the first 6 seeds of the East, and that's just, to me, is absurd. And I mean, not a lot of roster turnover. They got a lot of the same pieces, maybe a different acquisition here or there, Malik Beasley, but like, it's just an insane turnaround for me for a Detroit franchise that has just been rudderless for the longest time. But
and just going back to Ant, you know, like, that's great, and I hear you, but I kind of feel like the way that OKC is playing, I think a lot of coaches could coach that team, and none of it happens without Shai becoming who he is personally.
I wouldn't discount it that much.
I think, I'm not saying that he's bad. I'm not saying this
like that, man.
No, bro, I'm telling you, like, I've seen it. I just, like, they're not doing anything innovative. Their guys are just putting in effort that other teams aren't capable of putting in.
And that's
just what it
coaching.
comes down to. I think that's personnel, personally.
Putting in effort is absolutely
I would actually put more emphasis on how their GM just completely bought in on going young and everybody hitting the stride right at the same level of the career.
We said that we didn't think this team was going to be ready this season, right? They were going young because and they thought, like, maybe a year or two.
Were they not the 1 seed last year?
Back to this point.
I didn't think Shai was going to be who he is the last 2 seasons, to be honest, either. You know, so I'm more surprised by that than anything else.
Thunder the 3 seed I thought last year.
I'm saying, like, the last 2 seasons, like, before, like, 2 seasons ago, like, Shai, I never thought Shai was going to become this.
Wait, the other were the 1 seed last year?
Yeah.
Wow, actually, I don't remember that. Wow, I look like an idiot right now, but
that's all right. We've all had our moment.
That, but that's a testament. And Mark Daigneault has been doing this, bro.
Yeah, he's a great coach, and he was the coach of the year last year, so shout him out. But this year goes to JB.
Yeah, they're not going to give it outside of Monty.
Especially he got fired, and then his first year at his new destination turns it around just like that. It's JB for
Kenny Atkinson.
Well, Kenny Atkinson was different. He was an assistant for a little bit here and there before getting that job.
But we all knew Kenny was a great head coach in Brooklyn. And I as a Brooklyn Nets fan, it still gets under my skin. We brought in Kyrie and KD. They fired a really good head coach, blew up the team and left. Like, it just
Hey, but you got five first-round picks for a guy that had no business.
Yeah, at least
getting 5 first-round picks because he was an all-star. Never was an
Let's get
all-star.
some future for it.
Five first-round picks.
Let's see how the playoffs go, okay? And then
Listen,
we'll
if the Nets
see.
can get Cooper flagged, I'll be fine.
Charlie, your boy, right, is worth 5 first-round picks. Mikal Bridges was never worth 5 first-round picks. All right, Jalen Brunson should be commanding 5 first-round picks for the way that he's played. Jason Tatum, 5 first-round picks. Jokic, 5's not even enough, but that's like the quality of player that you have to be to get that kind of picks.
Well,
never being an all-star.
You got to take
should
into
never
account
get
the
you 5
contract.
first.
You got to take into account the contract as well. And also, it's 5 first-round picks, but like there's like a pick swap in there where like if it's not a top 5 pick, it converts to 2 2s or some BS like that. Like it's not like 5 first-round picks. It's like 3 or 4. All right, so let's pump the brakes there. All right, fellas.
Bad deal.
Whatever. Anyway, moving on. Moving on. Most improved player, our last category. I'm going first with this one.
Clutch?
What's up?
What about Clutch as well?
I honestly I left clutch player out because
When did they add that?
like last year, 2 years ago. Yeah.
Okay.
What is the point of
most
that?
improved?
My most improved player is the Great Barrier Thief, Dyson Daniels of the Atlanta Hawks. This guy went from a throw-in in the DeJounte Murray trade to an elite defensive stopper for the Atlanta Hawks. Listen to this. Last year on the Pelicans, 6 points per game, 2 steals or 2 assists, 4 rebounds. This year on the Hawks, 14 points per game, 5 rebounds, 4 assists, 3 steals per game. 3. Over the entire season, this guy is averaging 3 steals a game. It doesn't happen a lot in the NBA, especially not anymore. It's just an incredible season from this guy. And I know Cade Cunningham. For some reason, everyone's like, oh, Cade's the most improved. And I love Cade Cunningham. Mazz, we talked about this when we were doing our top 10 players. If I could choose 10 players in the NBA who I could have for the next decade, Cade Cunningham is on that list for me because I think he's that good of a player. But compared to last season, he's up 3 points. He's up 2 assists, up 2 rebounds. Dyson Daniels literally doubled his entire statistical line. And everywhere you look, this guy to me is the most improved player. And I love Cade Cunningham, but he improved marginally.
But he's the reason that team is no longer not even looking. They're past the play-in, Charlie. You just said it yourself. You cannot have the most improved team without a player improving the most on top of it.
It's most improved player. It's most improved player, not most improved team.
I get that, but Cade's the reason for the most improved team happening, right? So it's like I'm going to absolutely give the credit where it's due. Cade Cunningham is playing at a whole different level with it. We're like, yeah, it's only 2 points, 2 rebounds, 2 assists. At least they're improving. 1, 2, the record definitely shows differently, and he's picking his moments. The maturity in his game, the difference of taking over. Like, this is not empty stats like it was last year, where it's like, yeah, whatever. Like, somebody's got to get it. Like, Cade is playing at a high level right now. The maturity in his game, I think, is better than anybody we've seen in the game over the last year. Like, he's taken the biggest leap for me.
And not only maturity in his game, maturity in the locker room, right? Like he's become like the vocal leader in that Pistons locker room. He's changed the culture. Him and bringing in a guy like JB Bickerstaff as a head coach. I know, Mazz, you're a Monty guy, but Monty just wasn't doing it. Monty just wasn't doing it in Detroit. Bringing JB in, I think, brought a culture shift. I think Cade, really rose to that culture shift and has become like a real leader in that locker room. He's shooting the lights out of the ball. What's his 3-point percentage at right now? Almost 40%, right? Like 38,
33%. Oh, 35. Wow. I'm sorry.
35.
Which is actually a point lower than last year. So,
okay. Listen,
he's taking more shots.
He's become a superstar, bro. We watched him become a superstar.
He's taking 1 more shot per game than last year. Guys, it's marginal. It's marginal.
Listen, they're winning. They're winning, and it's him. He's the team. He's awesome.
I'm not trying to say he's not awesome. Cade Cunningham is awesome. He's so awesome.
For me, I never want to hear the most improved.
He was the first overall pick in the draft.
Listen, I never want to hear a most improved player just be, a guy within like the mix. I get that they have like they're getting bigger roles. That's fine. Most improved should be who's the new damn star, baby. That's what I want to know. Who rose up to the occasion?
Or a guy who had a terrible year last year or had some injuries and came back and became and was back to who he was. Like Klay Thompson was a few years ago. That's what the most improved is. You got a storyline award.
You got to overcome something. Damn it!
Most improved. That is the epitome of a storyline award. Like, we're not just gonna give most improved to a guy who's 14 points per game on a team that's the 10 seed in the Eastern Conference.
He's
right now
top 5 in Defensive Player of the Year voting. He doubled every single one of his stat categories.
And those are empty stats, my boy.
Sure. Cade Cunningham is the most improved Player of the Year.
Cade is out here winning. The newest superstar the league has to offer. We're crowning
This
it.
guy was a throw-in into a trade. The Pelicans were like, yeah, sure, you want Dyson Daniels, you can have him. He's turned into an elite defensive player in one season. Cade was like this last year. He just had nothing around him.
Listen, roses grow amongst the weeds sometimes, bro. But it's not the most improved.
All right.
For me.
Okay. Well, you guys are wrong, and I'm right. I'm just kidding. Who knows? Who actually knows?
Actually, would be the closest race, though, out of all these. I mean, Shea and Jokic.
Yeah. Yeah, probably. I don't know. Well.
Yeah, we'll see what happens. Hopefully we're right. Charlie, anything else on the docket tonight, my friend?
No.
Final four?
Dude, I haven't
broken by Tennessee.
I haven't watched. I'm sorry. I was watching
man.
All 4 1 seeds making it to the Final Four. Like, this is only the second time that's ever happened in the NCAA tournament history. I don't know. Has this been a boring tournament, guys? Has this been a boring tournament?
I just remember last year there was like upsets like every time the bracket moved up, there was always some crazy upset like the last year or two. And this year it's just been
I missed the year when it was UConn, FAU, Miami, and
that was sick.
San Diego State.
That was sick.
Yeah. It's just like, dude, you expect it to happen. Like, they've already had like the best rosters, where it's like the only thing I really had like stake in was Arkansas potentially going farther than Kentucky. And the fact that they got to the same round, I was able to bust Khalil a bit on it. But, like, outside of Arkansas and, like, the one McNeese upset, like, there was really nothing. We were like, whoa. Like,
I was hyped for St. John's, but then they got bounced by Calipari.
They were the 2 seed.
The thing is, I think this year, the 1 seeds are good stories. Like, you talk about Duke. Cooper Flagg.
That's a good story.
Honkanuppel. Who's the guy from South Africa? The center.
I don't know.
Was on the Olympics last year. Almost beat USA.
Yeah,
I forget his name, but he's on Duke.
Do you think that's a good storyline? Yes. That's a stag. I think, like, don't get me wrong.
Stat teams are good stories.
I feel like
watch them lose.
But they're not losing.
Yeah, Duke, Florida. I think Duke, Florida, and Auburn. We all kind of expected we're gonna make it to the Final Four. Houston was the team that I was a little bit on an edge about, just because of.
Thought it was gonna be Tennessee.
I saw a stat that Houston, every guy on the Houston team, their average mile time is like 5:30 on Houston. That's how fast those guys are.
Just got
mine
down.
They're just crazy athletic.
12:15, baby.
Attaboy.
Woo.
But I have to tell you guys though, in Matt Boucher's March Madness pool, shout out Matt Boucher. When Auburn and Duke win away, and an Auburn win a national championship away. How much you win the tournament? From winning the pot.
How much you win?
I think it would be like 370, 375.
Not bad, little change.
And
did you make picks?
I did, but I had St. John's and they lost, so it's over.
Charlie was drinking the New York Kool-Aid. What else is new?
And
MSG Kool-Aid.
I'm a Timberwolves over the Golden State Warriors victory in the playoffs away from a free lunch from the both of you guys, and I cannot wait for that to happen. It's gonna happen.
That's not happening.
Steph Curry's gonna drop 45 a damn night. All right.
Yeah. What?
Jimmy Butler's gonna drop 28.
What team was able to take down the 60-point triple-double Nikola Jokic Nuggets the other night? Yeah, that's right. The Minnesota freaking Timberwolves.
Game.
Russ was trash that night.
Yeah, I'm
What
pretty.
game?
Didn't he foul somebody to lose the game?
Yeah.
Right? Yes.
Yeah. I think he had like four or five turnovers as well.
Charlie, what did I tell you? We were officially in the stretch of the season where I do not give a shit who beats who because no one cares. They're already basically locking up their seeding.
I think Timberwolves and
nobody
Nuggets
cares.
are fighting over some seeding right now.
Oh, what?
I think they're like 4-5 right now. They're fighting for some seeding.
Sue me. Golden State reigns supreme. Charlie, I'm thinking sandwiches.
How you? Golden State
Charlie
reigns
wants to go to the
supreme,
Ritz
but
Carlton.
Draymond Green isn't the defensive player of the year.
I told you I like Steph and Jimmy Butler.
I don't know.
You
About
said you love Draymond. Oh,
I do
stop
love
it.
Draymond. But I'm saying
Mazz,
like, he's
yo,
playing
you
a good
said
player.
it
He's
on the
pancaking. He's
podcast. You
pancaking.
said,
Flip,
I
flop,
love
flip,
Draymond.
flop.
I do love Draymond, but I said that Mobley was the DPOY. Like, what are you getting me on
All right.
here? Like, what is
Fellas.
I love Golden State. I think that their success is perpetuated by two better players on that damn court. What do you want from me?
Fellas.
What, because I didn't put him on the Defensive Player of the Year? I said I'm not giving it to him because I think he's playing with better defensive help. Sue me.
We've been going for way too long. I'm tired of sitting in front of my computer because I've been sitting in this chair since 10 o'clock this morning. I'm calling it here. I'm sorry to cut you guys off, but I need to stand up and move my legs around. Mazz and Bad's on TikTok. Mazz and Bad's on Instagram. Mazz and Bad's on Spotify. Mazz and Bad's on YouTube. Mazz and Bad's on Apple Podcasts. Mazz and Bad's on Amazon Podcasts. Mazz and Bad's on Odyssey. Mazz and Bad's on whatever the hell else I plug our link into. You name it. You look it up. You find it. Have a good evening.
You have been listening to the Mazz and Bad Show with Brandon Marrazzo and Charlie Baduini.